this time, the product team have jumped in to share something that we're really excited about. So my name is Dave Chalmers. I look after product at EdUp. I'm joined by my colleagues, product designer Mel and Lucy and Bri, to take you through a really exciting webinar today. So at EdUp, our mission is to change the way that the world learns at work. And that all starts, of course, with content and how that content is created. So today, I'm really excited to announce our new content creation tool, the all-in-one creator tool. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through, Mel's going to take you through the changes and what they help you do for creating new content better, faster, and quicker. And we'll go through some questions that you might have about that, and then a little bit of a sneak surprise right at the end. So I'm really looking forward to this presentation today. And any questions that you've got, let us know in chat, and the team will be able to answer that. And we'll have a section at the end as well where we'll go through some questions. So there's a lot to show you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to product designer Mel to take you through the all-in-one builder. I'll stop sharing, Mel, and I'll hand over to you.
Yep, sure thing. Let's see. All right, that should be working. Everybody can see my screen.
Yep, sure thing, Mel. That's it.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Yep, just be going through the all-in-one builder just from start to finish on how to create your courses. So here is me on the content page. I have a couple courses in my account already. I'm going to create a course from scratch. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit create course. And here we have our first change. So as soon as you hit create course, you'll be prompted to add your course title, description, and a course image. So your course image is what you see here on the course card within the admin portal. And you also see that course image as a learner when you're in the learner app as well. So it's there to help identify your course. So I'm going to hit create course. In this demo, I'm going to be making a course on food safety. And say I want to upload an image as well. I have an image that I prepared earlier. I'm just going to upload that straight in. So all of these steps are optional for now. If you did want to just jump straight into creating your course, you can just hit this button down here. I'll do this later. There's a way to configure all of these once you're in the all-in-one builder as well. But otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and create that course. And we are now in the builder. So you'll note that the very first thing that you're prompted to do here is to create a lesson. So what we've done for people that are familiar with EdUp already and have used our current builder, we've removed a whole bunch of what we call option blindness, which is just a sort of feeling of like, what do I do next? What am I supposed to do to start creating my course and just to get stuck in? So we've just made it super simple and super clear for you to know what to do. We have our lesson types over here on the screen for you ready. And here you can find our lesson types. So nothing is new here. For anyone familiar with EdUp, we haven't added or removed anything. We've just simply renamed a couple things. So I'll go through that now. So our standard lesson is essentially your basic building block of an EdUp course. This is where you find your lessons with your slides in them as well. Then we also have our advanced lesson types down here. So you have your discussions, we have assignments, practicals, previously called practical assessments. We just shortened that to something a bit simpler, called it practicals, and virtual classrooms. We've also renamed into meetings. So again, nothing has changed within these advanced lesson types, just a little bit of a renaming. With these advanced lesson types, typically we do recommend to add a couple of these into your courses just to help diversify your learning, change it up, keep it interesting with your learners, and also create that nice blended learning journey that we know is really beneficial to your learners. So yeah, for anyone new, I won't go through all the different lesson types today because it's more about the builder itself, but we have plenty of resources on our support pages and webinars to go through all these different lesson types and how to use them. But what I'm going to do, just to get stuck in, is I'm just going to go ahead and create my standard lesson. Immediately, I'm going to see my preview here in the center. You have your editing panel on the right-hand side, and you'll be prompted to name your lesson straight away. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call that introduction and hit enter, and boom, that's my lesson done, created. I'm just going to pause a little bit and just go through sort of what we're seeing here on the left-hand side with your lesson. So you'll note there's an icon here on the left-hand side that is your lesson type. So then that's just a really easy way to know at a glance what your lesson type is once you have built out a couple more lessons in your course. So if I hit this plus button, you'll see how each lesson type denotes a different icon, and you'll see that populated here as well. Some new things that we've added. So we've also added lesson duration down here at the bottom. That's an estimated lesson duration. If your lesson contains any stars, that's also going to be displayed under here, underneath the lesson title, and also whether or not the lesson is mandatory or not. So as an author, you're able to see all of these details at a glance as well. So hovering over your lesson, you'll see there's like a little menu over here for additional actions. Clicking on that is where I'll find my lesson setting. So this is just for more advanced settings on my lesson, such as completion, things like that. I can also access the lesson changelog. I can rename my lesson really easily, duplicate my lesson in a second, and also delete them as well. So that's your lessons action menu. Underneath lessons is where you have your list of slides. So your list of slides are numbered. Similar to lessons, we also have an actions menu on each slide. And from here is where you can duplicate and easily delete your slides as well. So that's sort of a little tour of what you're seeing here on the left. Before we go ahead and build out an entire course though, I just wanted to pause and just do a quick tour of what we see here on the screen, because everything is completely brand new. And so just wanted to go through everything first just to orientate ourselves. So like I was saying, over here on the left-hand side, we have our navigation. So you can see we're going to have our lessons, our slides, but then also our sections appear here on the left-hand side. So sections is just a renaming, again, nothing new, same functionality. We've renamed modules into sections. We've gotten quite a bit of feedback that modules can be a bit of a confusing term to use, especially within learning. Modules can mean a lot of different things. So section is just a much simpler way of describing what it is, which is essentially just a grouping of your lessons. So all your sections, lessons, and slides will appear in one big list here on the left. With anyone familiar with how EdApp works currently, this navigation panel is probably going to be your biggest time saver from how it is now to this update, this navigation panel. You can see your entire course just at a glance, essentially see like a bird's eye view of your course. And we've essentially condensed 3 separate pages into one navigation panel. You'll see a bit more of this when I start building out the course more in this demo. But essentially all you need to know is that all your navigation, your entire course, you can view here. You can reorder your lessons, reorder your slides, reorder your sections. It's made really, really quick and easy and simple. Below here, we have your overview. So clicking on your overview is where you'd find your course image again. You can update your course title, add a description. You also have your language underneath here. And if you have any translations on your course, that'll appear down here as well with quick links to get into each of your translations. Down on the bottom left is where you'll also find your course settings. So nothing has changed within course settings. You're just accessing it from the bottom left here. For anyone new to EdUp, course settings is where you're going to be assigning your learners and adding things like attachments and engagement, some engagement features, and also some completion requirements and things like that. Also on this bottom left is where you'll find your theme. So accessing the theme is how you change how your course looks. I'm going to go through this a little bit more later, but just letting you know, but this is where you'll find it, is in that bottom left-hand corner. Here in the center, we have an upgraded preview. So it is front and center, right in front of your face, which is just what you need when you're authoring your course. For anyone familiar with EdUp who authors on a desktop screen size, we know that you guys have been having a pretty rough time with trying to preview your course within the current authoring tool, because you get a tiny little preview pane. But now we've upgraded it so you can preview your course on mobile. You get a nice big preview for tablet and a nice big preview for desktop as well. Alternatively, you can apply custom dimensions if you had any custom screen sizes that you wanted to see. By default, though, we do default to mobile because we are mobile first. So that is your center panel. On the right-hand panel is where you have all of your slide editing. So nothing has really changed here on the right-hand side. That's for anyone familiar with how the current system works. Nothing's really changed here on the right-hand side. It's just, I guess it's just moved over here to the right. If you need a little bit more room to edit, the width is adjustable. So I can just slide that open and make that a much larger editing panel if I'd like. Alternatively, if I wanted a larger preview or I wanted just more room on my screen, these panels are actually collapsible. So I can collapse that lesson panel, I can open that, or I can collapse this one as well. And that just gives me a little bit more room for my preview or anything else that I want to view. So that is the right-hand side, the slide editing. Moving up here, you'll see that there is a saved label. So this entire course builder is auto-saved. You don't have to worry about your changes not being saved. We've upgraded our auto-save and applied it to the entire course here. So your changes are always being saved. You can see the indicator at the top changing. So for example, if I were to make a quick change to the title, you see how it says saving, and then it's saved. So I'll just get rid of that and save that. So that's the autosave that's going to be applied to your entire course. Next to this, you just have some additional actions on your course. It's where you find things like duplicate and delete and your course change log. And then over here in your top right-hand corner is where you get your main primary actions that you want to take. So here we have assign to assign learners. That just opens up course settings to the place where you assign your learners. We're actually looking to update this really, really soon though, so keep your eyes peeled for the updates here. We're going to make that way simpler and way easier to assign your learners to a course. We also have our review functionality. That's if you want to send your course out to be reviewed by, say, a third party or management or a legal team. You can send this course out to be reviewed before it's published, and they can add their comments and you can adjust your course as needed. And then also, of course, publish, and that's how you make your course go live. So I'll go into these a little bit more later. What we're going to do now is we are going to add some more lessons to our course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a course structure. So we've spoken to quite a few customers about this, even some of you on this call potentially. And what we've found is that typically the first thing you want to do when creating a course is just to outline it. You want to create a course outline, basically a lesson plan for what you're going to be delivering to your learners before you add in any of the nitty-gritty content pieces. And so say I have a course here on food safety and I want to create a course with, say, 4 lessons in it. So previously, this was a pretty tedious process of having to click back and forth between multiple screens just to outline my course to do something very, very simple. So we have tried to make this as quick and seamless and painless as possible to outline your courses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this plus button. I'm going to add another standard course and call this hand washing. Hit enter. That's my lesson done. Next lesson, standard, call that safe temperatures. Hit enter. And another lesson and call that food preparation and hit enter. And that's done. That's my 4 lessons all done in seconds, when previously it was something that took much longer than that. So we can also rearrange our lessons as we'd like. So, you know, I can move food preparation up if I'd like, move hand washing down. I can really easily rearrange my lessons. And then say I'm happy with my course outline and I want to start adding content into my lessons. So that's where you add slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this new slide button, and that's going to open up my slide template picker. So for anyone new to EdUp, your slide templates are basically how you construct your standard lessons. It's built of a number of slides. So within this slide template library, we've categorized our slides into teach. So this is typically where the slides where you're teaching concepts from. You can deliver in text, image, video type content. We also have our quiz slides over here for checking knowledge. We've got our engage slides, such as games and getting feedback from your learners. Typically, we recommend adding in a couple quiz slides in between your content slides to try to reinforce learning as you go along. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to add in maybe a multiple choice slide here, and then quickly add in maybe a video slide, and then I'm going to add in maybe a bulleted list. So you can see like how quick and how easy it is to start building out your courses. It takes, you know, seconds to build out your lesson outline. It takes seconds just to add some more slides to your course as well. We've just tried to make this as seamless as possible for you guys. So say I had a lot of lessons though, and I wanted to further organize my lessons within the course. I wanted to split it up into different groups. That's where sections comes in. So sections, for anyone familiar with EdUp, is not anything new. It's just modules being renamed into sections. We've just decided to rename it into sections just to make it, like I said before, just a more generic term that's more easily understandable. So to create a section, I'd go into this 3-dot menu up here and I would add a section. Similar to adding lessons, the first thing I want to do is name my section. Say in this course, I wanted to check what my learners knew before they took the course, so do sort of like a pre-assessment. So I'm going to create a pre-assessment section here. So previously, you had to drag your lessons into sections, which you can still do here. I can drag hand washing into here, or I can drag safe temperatures into this section as well. But we heard quite a bit of feedback that doing that can be quite tedious when you have a lot of lessons and you have to scroll all the way to the top and drag it all the way to the bottom. And so what we've added here is that if you hover over your section, you'll see a plus button. Clicking on that plus button will allow you to add lessons straight into your section without the need to drag and drop. So for this pre-assessment, I am going to add in, say, an assignment. So this assignment, I'm going to call knowledge check, hit enter. And here is my assignment. For anyone unfamiliar with assignments, it's essentially a written task for your learners to submit. You as the admin can grade each submission and then determine whether or not this lesson has been complete or not for that learner. So I'm just going to quickly add in a task here. Say I just want to know, why is food safety important? And my learners will be prompted to enter a text-based submission to that question. That's my pre-assessment. So I wanted to add another section just to group my content lessons. I'm going to hit that 3-dot menu again, add a section. I'm going to call that content, hit enter. And then I can just easily drag these lessons into that. And finally, I want to create one more section for a post assessment. So I just want to check after they've completed all of this content, do they know, like what do they know and what have they learned? So I'm going to create a new section again, 3-dot menu, add section. I'm going to call this post assessment. And again, I'm going to create a lesson straight into this section. This time I'm going to add a practical. So this practical, I'm going to call out safety demonstration and hit enter. So we have updated the previews for practicals. We've actually updated the previews for all lesson types. So previously we didn't have previews on assignments and discussions, and we've also added like an additional preview on practicals just to show the preview that the learner sees and also a preview that a facilitator sees. So again, anyone not familiar with practicals, it's just a way to assess in-person skills of your learner. And then you as an admin or facilitator can grade your learners against a set of custom criteria. So a quick example of this, if I hit the edit tab at the top, I can start building out criteria. So say, I wanted to capture, I'm going to say employee ID. And say I also wanted to know what section the employee is working in. So I can be maybe front of house, or maybe I can be back of house. And then that will appear as a drop-down, front of house, back of house. And then onto the assessment criteria. So say I wanted to know, did they wash their hands? And that's yes or no. And then now, if I were to preview this, this is what a learner sees on the left-hand side. So as a learner accessing this lesson, they won't get to input any information. All they do is have a QR code. This QR code can be scanned by a facilitator or an admin. And upon scanning that QR code, the set of criteria that you've just built will come up, and you can assess your learners against this criteria. And then at the end, you can assign a pass or fail to that learner. And then that lesson will be marked as complete or incomplete. So pretty much that is my course built out with sections. Similar to lessons and slides as well. I can, I can collapse these, but then I can also rearrange them as I like. Within my lesson as well, I can easily rearrange my slides as I like. I can rearrange lessons as I like. This left-hand panel really just makes it really simple to edit and build and create and rearrange your courses. So here's my course, all done. Say I am done with my content, and now I'm looking at my course and I'm thinking I'd love to make this look better. I'd love to just improve how my course looks. That's where I would access theme. So we've recently made some improvements to this, but I'll show you very quickly how it works. So say I just wanted to change the background of my course. At the moment, I have default settings set on my logo, background and color scheme. Your default settings you can find in your application level settings. But say I wanted something different. I wanted to change my background image. So I'd hit the plus button. I can upload an image here. I can choose one from a media library, or I can create an image from Canva. A fun little feature within the media library that I hope everyone is aware of is that we have integrated Unsplash. So Unsplash is an image repository of really high quality images that you can add into your courses. So for example, I could look up a food background and say I want this one. This one looks great. I want this to be the background of my course. And there you go. And that's how you change your background image. Clearly now the text is a little bit too light and I can't really see it. So I'm going to update that color scheme. I'm going to hit that plus button on course. Oh, let's just turn it off. I am going to change that font color over here, and I'm going to change that to be black so I can see that nice and clear. So then that's black. And now maybe I want to update my logo as well. It's a bit too light. I'm going to update that and just do a dark version of my logo. There you go. That's my course updated in its theme. I'm going to hit Save Changes, and that is my course. So now your course is basically done. I'm ready to get it signed off and reviewed and delivered to my learners. Like I said before, we haven't really changed the content that you see here on the right-hand side, so I won't go into how to use this editing panel for anyone new to EdUp. We have plenty of webinars and authoring masterclasses and other resources to help you with this and to help you create great courses. And so I won't go into that today. But what we're going to do next is we are going to review this course. So once my course is done, I think I'm ready for it to go live. Perhaps I want to get it signed off by certain people. So I'm going to hit that review button and it opens up in a new tab. So here's my course to be reviewed. I'm going to share that with whoever I want. I can enter whatever emails I want. I can enter a message, and those people will be emailed an invitation link to view this course. They'll see a page that looks very similar to this, where they can add whatever comments they want. Perhaps, you know, on lesson 1, slide 1, they want to say something like, "This looks great," and they want to post that. Again, I'm not going to go through exactly how to use the course review. We have plenty of other resources that demo this and how it works. So please go check those out if you want to learn more about this process. But say all of my reviewing is done. I am back in my course now, and I'm ready to deliver it to learners. First thing you want to do is assign your learners. So then that's here in this section. So by default, it's on universal access, which means all your learners can have access to it. But say I just want to assign it to, you know, a couple user groups. All those changes are automatically saved. That's done. And now it's time to publish my course. So with anyone familiar with how course publishing happens in EdUp currently, you may notice that I didn't have to publish any lessons prior to this. So previously, you had to go in and individually publish each lesson as well to make sure that they are visible when your course is published. So what we've done is that we've moved that into just one quick, easy step that you can do in bulk. So I'm going to hit this publish button and I'm going to see this. So this is where you select what lessons you'd like to show and hide when your course is visible to your learners. So you got your bulk select at the top. I can select all. Maybe I just want to unselect 2 lessons. Maybe I only want to select 1 lesson to show for now. Can pretty much do whatever I want. For this demo, maybe I want all lessons to be shown except for, say, hand washing. So I'm going to unselect hand washing. This won't be visible now when I publish this course to my learners. I'm going to hit next. And this is where I get a quick review screen just to review what I've done. I can choose to publish this now, publish this later at a different date. I'm going to choose to publish this now. I'm going to go ahead and publish that course. You see a little success message, and your course is published. So some changes you'll see here is that this status pill at the top has changed from draft to published now. That one lesson that I decided to hide, you can see has like a little label here that says hidden. So you can see that this course is currently not visible to learners, even though the rest of the course is. If, let's say, you know, like I'm ready to make this course visible to my learners now, I would hit that 3-dot menu and you can see up here, it says show lesson. Show that, you'd see this modal coming up yet again. And I can choose to tick that lesson that's hidden, make it visible, save those changes, and now you can see that that lesson is now visible to all of your learners. So once your course is done and you want to decommission your course, all your learners have already taken it and you kind of just want to archive it or revert it back to draft, you can do that just through the three-dot menu up here. We have revert to draft. And that's pretty much it for the demo. So yeah, as the name suggests, everything is all on one page. If I leave that builder, I can go back into this course and yeah, everything is just there for you. So really quickly, some things that are coming as well, just some improvements, is that what we're working on now is just a way to improve the way that text is formatted over here. So we have our text formatting options up here, but they're a bit basic, so we're going to improve that. Like I mentioned before, we're going to look at a much simpler and easier way to assign learners up here as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also some pretty exciting things with AI that Dave's going to take us through in a second. So yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add, Dave?
No, first up, thanks for a great demo, Mel. The team,
No problem.
done such a fantastic job in tying all this stuff together to make it, for our power users, something that's quick and easy to use, and just kind of us getting out of the way so that they can deliver their best work to their teams. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks very much for that. The chat has been blowing up as you have been as you've been presenting there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly share my screen, and I'll share some sound with this as well. And one of the key things being asked there, sorry, there's lots of stuff here. One of the key things being asked there is, when is this coming? This is amazing. When is it coming? Fantastic. So one thing to note here is we are doing early access to the builder throughout May. So if you're on an account that wants to try this out and give us some feedback, that's happening throughout May. It's likely that we'll release in June, depending on how we go regards with feedback. But as you can see, it's so much faster than the current experience. For power users, I think you're going to have a fantastic time creating content in the tool. But we are very interested in any feedback that you might have. So if you're on the call and you want to be involved in that, let us know, either through your CSM if you're an existing customer, or just reach out on the chat just now and we can organize something there. But yeah, there's some really fantastic stuff that's coming there. And I mentioned about, content, creating that content. That's the start of the journey for delivering, fantastic and engaging learning. So there is probably, in the words of Steve Jobs, there is one more thing that I'd like to share with you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video. I'm going to leave a bit of time after the video for some questions. I might open to Lucy, Bry, Phoebe, and Joyce, who are manning our chat just now, and we can call out any questions that might happen. So I'm just going to go into this next video, and hopefully you can. I'll just close these windows. Sorry, guys. We can talk about what's coming very soon. We've got in development right now that hopefully won't be too long before you can get. So I'm excited to share with you something that we've got in development right now that hopefully won't be too long before you can get your hands on it. And that's the ability to create a course using AI. I'm going to show you how that works. So if we go in to the menu, we'll create an AI-generated course. And we're going to add in a topic. Later on, you'll be able to even paste in bits of text that you might want it to summarize, and probably eventually even replace documents and create content from those documents, like standard operating procedures, could be product guides, all sorts of things that you'll want to create engaging microlearning from. I'm going to start with safe food handling, and we'll generate a course from that. And boom, there you go. We've generated a safe food handling course, and you can see the lesson inside there with the various different slides. And as we go through, you'll see that it's taken that topic and it's summarized it into a series of different context and concepts to impart to the learner. And as we go through, you'll see it's added some images. We are working on the images to make them more relevant. But we go through and you can see how it's got the various different topics to do with food safety. And what it actually does is it will go through all these different topics, and then it generates a series of questions based upon what it's already shown the learner, so that you can then test what's been said and if the learner's understood. So you can imagine how this technology is going to speed up the workflow for lots of different authors, maybe just getting you an outline to begin with, or even generating more content for courseware that you already have. We are so excited about this technology. We think there is a lot of potential in it, obviously, as I'm sure the rest of the world does. So we'll be, over the next couple of weeks, looking for people to get involved in a bit of a beta program. So if you're on the call today, it would be great to have you sign up to that so we can get some feedback. But yeah, watch out for AI-generated courseware in EdApp in the not too distant future. Fantastic. So very excited about what's coming up in the world of AI. I hope you guys are too. What I might do now is we've got a few minutes left. And so I thought I'd throw it open to either Phoebe or Lucy or Bri for any questions that our audience might have.
Hey, Dave. Sorry, that's very loud. The question we have here from Sarah is regarding assigning learners. Will there ever be the ability to assign a course to one specific learner? That was the question from Sarah.
Yeah, so individual enrollment is on the roadmap. We know that there are use cases for that, and it also unlocks lots of other things as well. So what I can tell you is it is on the roadmap. I can't give you any distinct timelines right now, but it's definitely something that we want to do towards the second half of this year. Any other questions? I think I'm seeing some stuff come up on the chat. Let me just see if I can go through this here and see if we can pick anyone in there. Some really exciting stuff in there. Lots of love in the AI courses. Okay, so Molly, you've asked, when will the AI created courses be rolled out? Does this have early access too? Yes, it does. That's going to, I think if you sign up, we will let you know closer to when some of those dates are. As you can see, as I demoed in that video, we are very close to releasing the first version of that. So I don't want to say exact dates, but I would say within the next few weeks, there'll be a version for folks to try out in their application. Just going through some of the other
one here, Dave, just
yeah.
on from Ting Wei on whether or not AI generated course creation replaces the PowerPoint conversion tool.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, the PowerPoint conversion tool is fantastic. I think depending on the types of content that goes in will depend on the type of content you get out. I think that's the same with a lot of things. I do see that the PowerPoint creation tool will be replaced by this. Eventually, we're going to move into taking whole documents and being able to summarize and create content from there. I think that's where a lot of the value is of having existing content, and indeed that's why we built the PowerPoint creator in the first place. I think we can do a lot more with AI. So it's probably too early to say that very specifically, but I think that's where we're going to end up.
Hey Dave, just another one come through about CSS. We've had a couple of people asking about have we done anything to make custom CSS easier for those who are not CSS experts?
Oh, that's a great question. I think Mel mentioned this a little bit in the webinar there, in the demo there. We are looking to do a bunch of stuff around rich text editing that will negate the need for a lot of CSS that's currently used. So for some of the simpler things, you just won't need to do them anymore. I think CSS is quite an open standard, and I think it depends what you really want to do. If it's changing text color, those sorts of things, you won't need to do that anymore in CSS. And if you're trying to target very specific elements within a lesson, so more advanced, I would say, uses of CSS, certainly the new rich text editor will have a developer mode in it that'll kind of separate some of the rich text stuff that you'd be doing and then maybe more advanced CSS. And if we've got any more details, then I think that's something that we can maybe follow up after the call. But yeah, we're trying to negate the need for CSS unless it's something you want to do very specifically inside of a slide. Any more questions, team? That we
Hey, sorry, get rid of the echo. Another question we've got here is, will AI functionality be available to use as a tool on lessons, just general wording, etc., or just purely as a build a course tool?
What a great question. That's fantastic. Yeah, so I think ultimately, long term, I would say medium term, actually, we see it as both a starting point and something that helps you generate more content. So a good example here is, what I showed you today was the ability to create a course with a lesson inside it that had various different concepts as well as multiple choice questions to test those concepts. The more material that we put in, so let's say that we've got a large document, we'll be creating larger courses. But you maybe just want to generate questions within a lesson. So you might already have the concepts there already, and you just want to generate a bunch of different questions. So we actually see this being useful both at creating a course to begin with, either from existing material or from a prompt, and also inside of a course, either creating a new lesson or creating content within a lesson. So I think you can see it at the various different levels is the direction that we'll be heading in.
Another question we've got here, Dave, is interest from David is interested in dynamic course creation, i.e. easily designing a hybrid course that utilizes sections and lessons from pre-existing courses. Is this on the roadmap? This could consider a RPL style setup for learners.
Dynamic course creation, easily designing a hybrid course that utilizes sections and lessons from the existing courses. Is this on the roadmap? It's not something that we've considered. I'd love to know more. So David, if you want to reach out to me, I'm David at EdApp. I'd invite anyone who's on the call today that wants to reach out about specific things. So I'd love to know more about especially prior learning, because that's an area that we're quite interested in. So if you have any thoughts in there, I'd love for you to share them with me. That would be fantastic. Okay, team, any more interesting questions we want to call out?
I think we're almost at time, Dave. What we'll do is we'll take a note of all the questions asked, and we've got all your email addresses. So we'll get someone to reach out, or in the meantime, you're more than welcome to reach out to support@edapp.com or your account manager, and we can get those questions answered for you. Just a quick note before we all sign off is that in the chat, you'll see that there's two forms, one for Course Builder and one for AI Create, for you to get early access. We'll post them once again so you can see them. As we know, there's been a lot going on in the chat, but if you'd like to get early access to either of them, you can do so via those two forms.
Fantastic. Well, just last thing to say before we sign off is thanks everyone for the time and the great questions and your interest in it. Your feedback is what makes a great product, so we're always interested in it. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll hopefully speak again soon. Thanks everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks everyone.